listening to an encore presentation of The Kevin Jackson Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Life is not fair. Politics is not fair. If you're looking for some sort of fairness to come from the left in dealing with all of these issues surrounding Donald Trump and issues surrounding the conservative movement, etc., it'll never happen. Just discipline the idea that that's never going to happen. I'll give you a good example. So Oprah gives her speech, worst speech ever, if you ask me. Most divisive. It's a terrible speech. And they come out and say, Oprah for president. The LA Times, other people, NBC, whatever. Oprah for president. Now, keep in mind, Oprah, these are the people, Democrats are the people who said a billionaire TV personality should not be running for president. And what do they want? They want Oprah, a billionaire TV personality, running for president. Again, hypocrisy. Do you think anybody's talking about that? Do you think anybody said, it's really funny. We clamored that we didn't want Donald, somebody who's a billionaire TV person to be president, and now we're asking for Oprah to be president. Oh, the irony. No, they don't. They gloss over it. They don't care. What applies to us doesn't apply to them. And here's the other thing. Do you think anybody in these circles is publicly, openly saying, you know what? You can be as mad as you want about Donald Trump, but you got to give him some credit on the stock market. Hey, you can be as mad as you want about Donald Trump, but you got to look at these numbers. It's consumer confidence. You got to look at what happened in retail during the Christmas season, the retail season. You got to look at how low unemployment is. You got to look at the fact that we don't have a whole lot of illegal immigration now. It's really gone down. You got to look at the idea that we now seem to have gotten a handle on terrorism, whatever. You got to, and I could go on. I could give you the litany of things, the companies moving back, the manufacturing numbers, etc. Do you think any of those conversations happen? And I know they don't. And here's why they don't. It isn't because these people don't know it. Not at all. The reason it doesn't happen is very simple. If they open their mouths, they're ostracized. They lose their jobs. They lose their friends. They lose their careers. Ironically, they really wouldn't lose their friends because more of their friends than they think feel this way. So I'll ask you this. Does it take more guts to go into the belly of the beast and say, this is how I feel, or do you just toe the line? So they all toe the line, but they act as if they're not being disingenuous. They act as, no, this is legitimately what I think. There are men that sat in the audience of the Golden Globes as women went up there and decried all of them, and they clapped like trained seals. They're clapping against themselves. Nobody stood up and said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You want to direct? I tell you what, why don't you have a award ceremony that's just for women? There are lots of women's organizations and women's groups and women's this or that. If you want to really make yourself stand out, every time you do something, then just make it for women. And you know why they won't do it? Because it's like the WNBA. How many WNBA games have you seen in your life? How many NBA games have you seen? Now, you don't have to be a basketball fan to tell me, yeah, I watched a little bit of a game one time with my boyfriend, my husband. I'm talking to the ladies now. But I doubt that you ever watched a WNBA game. And it's just because it doesn't have any interest to you. It doesn't have any interest to the person that you're with. Unless you have a daughter who plays basketball, you probably don't pay much attention to women's sports. It's just the truth. So if Oprah, if any of these women want to be distinguished beyond their craft, go be it. And what's most interesting, and I said this previously, this is a leftist-dominated thing. This is not some male, patriarchal, macho society that says, to hell with women. A bunch of ogres. This isn't the oracles, in 300, where they have the beautiful women that they, get to have their way with as they make their predictions of what's going to happen. This isn't something like that, a bunch of old lecherous guys. This is Hollywood. This is leftists dealing with other leftists, and they're mad at themselves. I'm mad at you leftists because you know better. You know there should have been a female director. That's female. They are losing their minds. And what's funny about it, you watch how they react to it. They have to make us seem stupid. Here's what's I want to clue you in on something. When they tell you that Donald Trump is unhinged, that he's got a problem, he's unfit to be president, what they're saying is you're stupid. You, not him. Don't be fooled that they don't like Trump. They don't like you. The best way for them to demoralize you is to demoralize the person that you have elected. They single one out of the herd. Now, here's their problem. Donald Trump doesn't give a crap. And I haven't gotten the ratings yet from the stupid show, Golden Globes. I predicted before the show that it's going to go down for two reasons. One, Seth Meyers, the host, anti-Trump. And secondly, just because people don't care. People don't care about these Hollywood weirdos. They believe they're relevant. These hypocrites that refuse to see the real America, that refuse to get out there and not have everything done for them by a bunch of assistants, and where food is, they show up and there's the food all laid out. There's food in the green room, and they don't know that people actually have to go out and make a living and go into their own kitchens and go, ain't nothing here, and then go grocery shopping and make their own food. These are people that they live in La La Land, not to promote one of the movies, but they do. They live in La La Land. And suddenly, when they're confronted with real life situations, the only thing they know, well, that's not the way my life is. It's hypocrisy. Don King said, hypocrisy is the mother of all evils. But I can go better than that. There's a gentleman, his name is Bernard de Mandeville. He says, no habit or quality is more easily acquired than hypocrisy, nor anything sooner learned than to deny the sentiments of our hearts and the principle we act from. But the seeds of every passion are innate to us, and nobody comes into the world without them. There are a lot of people that have spoken about this hypocrisy. It's the most easily acquired, nothing more sooner learned. That's what he's talking about. You learn it because it's a quality where, quite frankly, it makes you go introspective. You need hypocrisy so you can understand yourself. Don't deny it, though. All the people that stood in the Golden Globes, and when we come back, we're going to play many of the clips. All the people that stood there, it was a room full of hypocrites. Men who want to stand up and say, stop bashing us. Women who know they are complicit in their own demise. A system, I'm talking about leftism, that has created it all. It's created a vortex of evil, and they want to look for somebody to blame outside of them. Bunch of hypocrites.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.